Today we're going to do a quick review on perpendicular lines and parallel lines. So perpendicular lines are lines that intersect at 90-degree angles, and this is the symbol. Don't forget that symbol. And it's very important to know that they intersect at the 90-degree angles, so right here. So I wrote a couple down because this is a rectangle. They will have 4 different types of perpendicular lines. There's 4 intersections because we have 90-degree angles at each corner. So for example, we have AB is perpendicular to line AC because they intersect right there at the top. Another one is AC, this one, is perpendicular to CD because they intersect right there. Along with these other two, BD, this line, is perpendicular with CD because they intersect right here. If I extend those lines out, that's why I put the purple on there, because you can go ahead and extend it out. If you're taking your test or on a paper, you are more than welcome to do that, and you'll see that they will intersect. Another one is BD is perpendicular to AB at the top because they intersect again right here. Extend those lines out and you will see that it intersects. The parallel lines are lines that are near but never touch. So here we have 2 examples of really good parallel lines. If they continue going forever, like a railroad track, they would never touch. This one right here is a little bit further apart here, so it's going to stay wide. But if you look at this end of it, it's too close together and eventually they're going to touch, so that's not a good example of a parallel line. Move my chart and we will look at some examples. Okay, so I'm going to look at the first one. Okay, so we're going to be up here in the corner. Oops, slide it over just a little bit. Okay, so let's look at the first one. This one is perpendicular lines is what we're looking for. So if I go back to my rules, I know that they're going to intersect. And I want to know if these are true or false. Okay, so for the very first one, it has AB is perpendicular to GH. So I'm going to look at AB is perpendicular to GH. And I see right here, they intersect. And these are 90-degree angles, so that would definitely be true. So I'm going to go ahead and put a T. My next one is CD, and it says it is perpendicular to IJ. IJ. They do intersect, but remember, it has to intersect at a 90-degree angle. This is not 90 degrees right here, because if I put my paper up there, then you will know that it can't fit it evenly in there or perfectly in there like it could in these corners. So that one would have to be false. You can pause your video right here and you can try the next 2, and then you can check back in just a second and see how you did. The next one is AB is perpendicular to EF. So let's take a look at that one. AB is perpendicular to EF. They do not touch. They're far apart from each other, so technically those are parallel lines. They would not be perpendicular, so that would be false. So if you picked false, very good. Our next one is EF is perpendicular to IJ. So we have EF is perpendicular to IJ. They intersect right here. So these are all 90-degree angles, so that would be true. Okay. And you're more than welcome to use a highlighter if you want to when you're doing this work to see if they actually connect, intersect, or they're parallel to each other. It makes it a lot easier because if you have so many lines going on, it gets a little confusing. All right, let's go down to this next one down here. Okay, on the green, hope you can see it. All right, this one we want to see which one is perpendicular, and then we have one that's parallel. So we have AD is perpendicular to, this one has 2 different ones that it can be perpendicular to. So we have AD, and as you can see, it can go into AB, because if I extend that line up, that's going to be a perfect right angle right there. So I will write AB as 1. Okay, you can pause your video and see if you can figure out the other one. All right. Now let's see if you've got that one right. So let's go back to line AD, and it can go into this line DE. Because if I extend these two lines, this line right here and this line already goes out, we could see that it will go all the way through it. All right, the next one is parallel lines. We have AD, and see if you can figure out which one would be parallel to it. If you picked BE, you are correct. Okay. All right, let's try this one up here. It's a little bit lighter green, so I'm gonna slide in just a little bit so you can see it. Okay, so this one we have parallel lines. So we want to know which ones are parallel. We have a whole bunch of lines going on here. One line that's running through it. So I can tell you right now that KL is not going to be one because it's intersecting through all the lines. So you can definitely mark that one off. So we need to see ones that are not going to eventually connect. These connect. If I extend these two out, they're eventually going to touch. I see these over here spaced pretty good apart, pretty far apart. So I'm going to say this one, AB, oops, is parallel to CD. All right, let's look at this next one down here with the blue. Let me slide it back. Okay, so we want to know which ones are parallel. It's like a little house. Okay, so we have AH. So AH, and remember this is a sign for parallel, is parallel to what? Is parallel to EG. They're not touching and they're far apart from each other. And if they continue going, they're not going to touch each other. So we'll have EG. We have another one. We have line BC, which is right here, BC. And it is parallel to, see if you can figure it out, it's parallel to ED. They're not touching, and if they continue on, they will never touch each other. So that would be, oops, D, I don't have an eraser, DE. Okay, and let's do the last one. Okay, so these are parallel lines, and let's remember that we have to use the arrows. So I'm going to slide this over just a bit. Okay, so I'm going to add my arrows on. I'm going to do one on this one, and I have to do the other arrow on the one that is parallel to. Make sure you can see it. And it is parallel to this one right here. We have another set of parallel lines, so we can go ahead and add 2 arrows to that one. So that tells us that we have 2 sets of parallel lines in that one. If you have any other questions before you take your little quiz today, just let me know. Thanks.